UMass Lowell Hockey Riverhawks get ready to open their season games Friday night against Sacred Heart and Saturday against the University of Massachusetts, both at the Songas Center in Lowell. Joining us now, the head coach of the Riverhawks, Norm Bazin. Norm, welcome.
Great to be with you, Bob.
We've seen this team in one hockey game, an exhibition game against McGill, a 3-3 tie. Just give me your impressions, your analysis of that first time out against an opponent.
Well, it's great to have a game early in the season. It's a little earlier than we would have liked. However, it's great to find out how they're managing different situations on the ice, and in some cases I was pleased. In other cases, there's a lot of work to be done.
I know for a lot of us, we look at the final score. I suspect, especially in an exhibition game, that you don't look at the final score. What are the things in a game such as that you looked to see?
Well, we looked to see structurally how we were on the ice, if we had ice balance, if we were hustling, if we were getting the pucks first. And like I said, there's a lot of work to be done in certain areas, and in certain others I was very pleased.
Maybe we only know this on Sunday. Are we ready for the opening weekend? Do you feel as though we're ready?
Coaches never think you're ready. There's so much work to be done. I do feel that a lot of our guys are going to get better and better with every single week of practice, or every day of practice for that matter. So I was pleased with the fact that we scored a power play goal. I was pleased with the fact that we blocked shots. I was pleased with the fact that we got better as the game went along. And currently we're working on several areas that we need to improve upon.
You mentioned scoring the power play goal. I'm curious, because there is so much to work on when a season begins. How much time gets spent on special teams? Do you ever feel like you've spent enough time on that?
No, you can never spend enough time on special teams, and we hadn't had a full practice time, a full 2-hour slot. So we had only touched upon the power play once for 10 minutes. So that's what you saw. You saw a lot of scramble play. You saw a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of possibly miscommunication, but it's to be expected.
It is the beginning of a new season, but a lot of these guys have been with you for a couple of years. Does everybody start the season with a clean sheet, or do a lot of coaching decisions, at least early on, are they based on things that have happened in previous seasons?
That's an interesting question, a very good question. I think guys have built up some credibility with me. Guys have been here a couple of years. On the flip side, they're not guaranteed to be a starter. They're not guaranteed to be in the lineup. We do base a lot of our decisions off competition and practice, and how hard they want to compete in every situation.
You mentioned that, competition and practice. Last year and even this year, as I've talked to players, they always talk about how hard practice is and that you have to compete every single moment. Much like a hockey game, you can't take a shift off, you can't take a drill off. When you design a practice, what are your goals for that practice, or for a particular drill or series of things that you do in practice?
Well, we try to make it as situational as possible. We try to duplicate a game in every aspect. Everything from the physical play to the situational play, and try to put them in uncomfortable situations. And the more we can do that, the more you duplicate an actual game.
We haven't played a game that counts. Played an exhibition game. By the time we play our first game, you'll have had a week of practice with this team. I realize teams develop identities over the season, and you learn more and more about your team with each day, practice and each game. But is there one thing you know about your team at this point?
Not really. I think when you're talking about a certain team in a given year, you find out so much as the year progresses. You don't really find out the identity and the staples of your program until you've faced a little adversity. So we're going to face some this weekend. We're playing two very good hockey teams. We're playing two hungry teams. Sacred Heart is very much in the situation we were 2 years ago, coming off a very difficult season. They're hungry. They just came off a shutout. So we're excited to play them. And then Massachusetts is looking for a fresh start also, and they've got some of the best team speed in our league.
You mentioned two different opponents this weekend. Does it make it more difficult for the coaching staff? And I say that knowing that it's about us, not about them. But you do, as a coach, I'm sure, want to know something about each of the opponents. Does it make it a little more difficult having two opponents in the first weekend?
No question. It makes it more difficult for preparation. That'd be a great question to ask the assistants, because I go over a lot of game film for the first opponent, and I don't concentrate as much on the second, and I let them do that. However, they're gonna prove very, very tough. I know the situation they're in last year, And I know what they're trying to erase from their memory. And I think they're going to be a very, very difficult opponent come Saturday. But first things first, Friday we want to take care of, and that's going to be a challenge.
Friday's an interesting night in that, yeah, we face a very hungry hockey club, and there are also going to be various ceremonies before the game on Friday night. Looking back at the honors that this team achieved a year ago, there has been media attention because of various polls. Is it hard to keep distractions from being in the way? Is it hard to just kind of keep everybody focused?
There's a lot of questions about it.
I know. I was trying to figure out a way to say very smoothly, right to the point. Is it easy to keep these guys with their eyes on, this first game?
No, 18 to 23-year-olds, they've got a lot of distractions. They've got a lot of concerns, both academically and athletically. You try to limit their focus. Right now, we got to focus on one thing: is competing as hard as we possibly can in the first game. And there's going to be a lot of mistakes out there. That's what makes the game so exciting. Hockey is exciting because there's a lot of mistakes, there's a lot of turnovers, and that's what the fans love. They love to see transition. And we're going to try to outcompete our opponent and let the results take care of themselves.
I guess finally you mentioned this, what the fans love. Last year we packed this place more than 5,000 tonight. I guess one looks forward to the opening weekend and seeing a lot of familiar faces among the fans.
No question. Our fans are some of the greatest in the country, and we want to see them show up in droves. And this should be an exciting season.
And again, Riverhawks open the season Friday night, Sacred Heart at the Saga Center, 7:15 start. But there's going to be a variety of festivities before the game. Get here early, get to your seat, and have a terrific night. And then, of course, on Saturday night, the University of Massachusetts will be the Riverhawks opponent. Norm Bazin, good luck this weekend. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Bob.